Hi, everybody, and welcome to Fairfield County SCORE's latest live webinar series for aspiring entrepreneurs. This is the last in the Women and Minorities series. We've had 6 so far, and this is number 7. I'm Kathy Walsh, a business mentor here at Fairfield County SCORE, and I'll be your host. Our sponsor for today's event is Fairfield County Community Foundation. FCCF is a nonprofit organization based in Norwalk whose mission it is to close the opportunity gap by eliminating disparities in income, education, employment, housing, and health. Fairfield County SCORE is proud to partner with FCCF, and we thank them for their support of this webinar series. Today's webinar is Presenting Excellence with our speaker, Diane Winston. More on Diane in a moment. Let me share some brief information about SCORE. SCORE is funded by a grant from the Small Business Administration, so all of our services are completely free. There are 300 SCORE offices in the U.S. with over 10,000 volunteers. Fairfield County SCORE is one of the largest and highest rated chapters in the nation, with over 100 volunteers and comprising a wide range of experience. We offer 3 value-added services to small businesses, which are all accessible from our website at fairfieldcountyscore.org. First, we provide free one-on-one counseling through face-to-face meetings, phone calls, email, and video conferencing. Second, we produce over 100 educational workshops and webinars each year on topics of relevance and importance to small businesses. And third, we have extensive resources and tools on our website, including templates to help you build your business plan. This is a special webinar event because there's an opportunity for participants to earn a grant at the conclusion of the series. We will be giving away $2,000 grants to up to 10 contestants. All applications and business plans are to be submitted by June 29th, next week. The judging will be on July 5th, 2 weeks. Judging for the grant awards will be based on a presentation of your business plan. Constructing a business plan can be a very difficult task, so we created a simple Q&A template called a business case analysis to help you figure out what to write. Forms and entrance criteria will be sent to all that register. If you need these, we will be happy to send them off again to you, so let us know. Remember, if you're in business for yourself, you are in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. SCORE mentors are available to help you complete these documents, and I encourage you to take advantage of the opportunity to collaborate with them. There are over 100 people willing to help you with these documents. Ultimately, what the judges will be looking for is a synopsis of what I call your story. You tell us in the fewest words possible what is so great about you, your product, your service, your business. It will be in your executive summary of the business case analysis and financial projections, and will serve as the basis for your presentation. You'll have a limit of 1 page to tell your story, so make it good. It is your elevator pitch. The files for the business case and financial projections will be emailed to you, and we'll talk more about the contest as we get, well, we are close to the end of it. This is it. We're talking about it. So this is your final webinar by the 29th. Please have everything submitted to us. Okay, let's get started. If you have a question during the webinar, please use the chat box located in the bottom of your screen. To respect your time and hours, our webinar will end promptly at 1 p.m. This session is being recorded, and the link to the recording will be available at fairfieldcountyscore.org within the next couple of days. So on to our speaker. Diane Winston is a change management and communication strategist with 30 plus years of corporate and consulting experience. In 2005, she launched her consulting firm, Winston Strategic Partners, LLC, to support change initiatives impacting organizations, people, and cultures. Diane is a member of the U.S. and New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, Women in Public Policy, the Collaboration of Professional Women of Color, and the Black Business Alliance. She has a BA from NYU and an MBA from Chicago. So without any further ado, take it away, Diane. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, and good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here and to present the final webinar in this series directed to minorities and women. And I have a very special interest in that. Can you guess why? I am a minority and a woman entrepreneur. So let's talk about why good isn't good enough. And today's subject is presenting excellence. This is where I'd like to go in the next 40, 45 minutes. We're going to define excellence so that we're all on the same page. Then we're going to talk about measuring up to excellence, understanding what is expected of us from our clients, our competitors, ourselves. And when all those things are in alignment, we can expect to deliver excellence in our product and our services. But to do that, we've got to talk about setting clear expectations. Again, it's for ourselves, it's also for our clients. And then knowing when to course correct is key. And your course correction may not necessarily be in a project that you're working on for a client, although it may be. It can also be in the offering that you are selling to your clients. You may recognize that 3 widgets is not important, but 2 are really your moneymaker. And then the importance of communication. So let's get started. What is excellence? And you know, when I was thinking about this presentation, I came up with certain definitions, but I think it's important that we look at what Webster says excellence is. Outstanding, extremely good. Is the product that you're selling or the services that you're offering outstanding or extremely good? Is there a feature about your service or your product? Is it the quality of your product exceptional? Is it excellent? These are the things that you want to test yourself. The quality of being excellent, an excellent or valuable quality. And another word for that is virtue. So of course, I said, let me look at what virtue means. Conformity to a standard of right. If we offer our clients a product, you want that product to come out exactly the same every time you offer it. An example of that would be the 2 arches or the arch, the double arch, McDonald's. Every employee has to go through Hamburger University so that they understand what the principles are for providing the food service that McDonald's offers, but also the standard for that. And it's important as we think about our businesses that we create standards of excellence. 1, for ourselves, 2, for our clients, but 3, as we grow, we want our employees who are going to pick up some of the slack or who are going to take over a particular process or function to be operating at a standard of excellence. A moral excellence. That sort of is without saying, but Merriam-Webster put it in the definition for virtue, so I would say it. Being honest that we can't make our deadlines, or that maybe we bit off a little more than we could chew and we need to bring in help, a subcontractor, is all fine. But you want to always be regarded by your clients as someone with integrity, moral excellence. They can trust. If we're going to miss a deadline, as soon as you know you're going to miss a deadline, give your client a heads up. And that's one of the things that's a stickler for me. And people that work with me or under my direction, they know if we have a deadline, that's what I'm expecting you to deliver on that deadline, because I'm now telling the client that this is going to be delivered at that date. If that's not the case, just simply let me know. And that's how I am with my clients. I let them know. Is your product or service, does it have a beneficial quality or power? Is it going to make a difference? What's the value to your client? You need to know this intuitively so that when you're making your pitch when you're selling, when you're standing by what you're offering, that you can talk to it without any compromise. And then they say manly strength, but I'd like to say just strength or courage. You want to have a commendable quality or trait, something that people are going to remember about you if you're in the service industry, or your product if you have a commodity that you're selling. You want your clients, you want your competitors, you want your colleagues to be able to, without question, talk about what you offer and say that it is wonderful and make recommendations for that. So product, service, and quality. Let me stop for a moment. Why are we having this for minorities and women? Is this not something that you know? Is it not something that's important to you? Or is it something that we assume you don't know? None of the above. Let me be clear. I volunteered to do this segment because I am a minority and because I am a woman. And as such, I know when I walk in a room and I'm the only one, whether it's only woman or the only minority or the only both, that there are biases that people may not recognize that they have. And so they make certain presumptions when I walk in the room that it's going to be inferior quality, it's going to be cheap, it's not going to be as good as this one over here. So I raised my hand and said, let's do one on excellence. And it's not because you're not about delivering excellent, it's because there are those who may not expect us to. So I just want to reinforce it. We don't want to lay down on our laurels because we did a good job once, okay? So measuring up product and service quality. This is important. This is what you want people to know about you, to know about what you deliver, and to have great things to say about it. Not good things, great things to say about it. What is the perceived or actual value of what you're selling? Now, this is important when we talk about our marketing effort. Can I say what Winston Strategic Partner does helps the bottom line? It does. I can't quantify it. But when we talk about introducing change, if it's not well communicated, if people don't understand what it is or why it is, they're going to be reluctant to embrace it. And by not embracing change, it can stall the future objectives of an organization. Then those objectives have dollar values to them. It could be a cost reduction, expense reduction. So I can always make the case that change management communications, or even leadership development all impact the client's bottom line. And I can give examples. Can you? This is what we want you to think about when we talk about measuring up. Your client expectations. If your client is asking for a 4-color brochure, don't offer 2-color. You can offer 4-color, and you can offer more than 4-color. I don't know if that's possible, but if there's such a thing as 6-color, you can offer that as an option. If your client is cost conscious, they say they want 4-color, you can offer them 2-color, but you can show them how they can still get the same benefit and the same value from a 2-color marketing piece versus a 4-color because it's a little more expensive. Now you're talking about value, not perceived, but actual. For the client that's cost conscious, you want to show up as a partner to them. You want to show up as someone that is concerned about delivering according to their needs, their desires, and the scope in which they are operating. Do you measure up competitively? Do you know who your competitors are, plain and simple? We're not the only one out here doing what we're doing. And by the way, there's enough business for all of us, but you want to always be aware of what the competition is doing. Do you measure up? You don't have to one-up them, but at least are you measuring up? Is the quality of your service, is the quality of your product measuring up to your competition? And once it is, then find a way to go past them. It might be in pricing, it might be in a feature of your product, but make sure that you measure up, because excellence is what we strive for. We are people who have big dreams, and the only one that can dash our dreams is us. And that is by not measuring up, by not always pursuing excellence in what we offer. So, all right, so why is this important? Why is excellence so important? It's important for me because I know when I go to a client and I make an offer, I know that I can stand behind it. I also know that when I'm doing anything in the way of marketing or pitching my firm, that I'm confident that I can talk fluidly about what we offer. I can give examples about where we've done this work, the clients we've done it for, what we actually did to deliver for their needs, and the results of our delivery. Why is this important? This is your best business strategy. When you have a client that's satisfied, that client's going to come back to you. That client is going to refer you to others. They're going to recommend you to other clients. That's why this is important. But it also, I think it's important because your name is on it. I have a situation right now where I'm a little nervous, but I'm standing by my colleague firm that's working on behalf of Winston Strategic Partners to deliver something. I'm understanding what my client is looking for, but I also understand the challenge of the colleague firm that I've subcontracted the work to. I'm in the middle. The brand and reputation of Winston Strategic Partners is on the line. I don't want to lose the client. I don't want the client to not be satisfied. At the same time, I understand that this was not particularly an easy client to work for. And that the number of iterations for the work that we're doing has been astronomical. Do we walk away? Don't want that on my reputation. Do we try to satisfy the client, this very difficult client? The answer is yes. Will we do any other projects for this client? I'm not thinking we're inclined to do so. So my goal is to make sure this client is satisfied, because at the end of the day, I want them to say that Winston Strategic Partners was beneficial to them, that we met their needs. In order to do that, it's important that we understand expectations. Not only their expectations, but we need to be able to convey our expectations. When I was raising my son, and I was a single mom, he was a teenager, and I would tell him what I expected, and he would deliver something slightly different. He said, well, Mommy, you didn't say I had to sweep the floor of my room. You just told me to straighten it up. So what do I find he's done? He's taken all of the clothes that were thrown around the room and he's thrown them in his closet, closed the door. He's taken his bed and he's just pulled the comforter over everything, and that was cleaning his room. Now, my expectations were clear. His reality of my expectations were very different. You want to make sure with our clients that we are very clear on what they expect. One of the things that I do when we have our very first meeting, I first try to understand what it is that their needs are. I reiterate, so this is what I understand, and these are the people that it's going to impact. And you want to get this done over X number of months. Okay. Well, who will be my point person if we are chosen to deliver this work? Okay. Then I go about writing a proposal. And the proposal has to be explicit. First page of my proposal is always a statement of understanding. And I basically reference that meeting and I identify with bullets everything that I understand that their needs are. And then in the proposal, based on each of those bullets, I set forth how and what we're going to deliver. And in setting realistic goals and realistic expectations, if I give a timeline, I always indicate to the client that the timeline is dependent on their turning things around in a reasonable amount of time. I've set expectations. I've said with reality and honesty how we can deliver it. Now everybody's got it. Sign on the proposal agreement line. Let's get going. Okay. Expectations versus reality. When you set clear expectations, there's not going to be any confusion. You're not going to have clients wondering why you haven't delivered what you said you were going to deliver. In that same scenario that I mentioned, we did not make it clear that 2 to 3 iterations of adjustments on the document, on the work that we're doing. It's not necessarily a document. We didn't say 2 or 3 iterations. And this happens to be a very unusual type of client, and 2 or 3 iterations would not be sufficient, but we didn't realize that. And perhaps we didn't ask enough questions, but it was the first time dealing with this particular government agency. So we've learned our lesson. So any other time that we're working with on this type of project with any type of client, we're going to make sure that we are explicit about the iterations. We're going to make explicit about if there are changes that we are not anticipating. If they do an about face and want to change the content, there'll be a change order that is identified as an exception in our proposal. Okay. So setting clear and realistic expectations. Course correcting. We don't necessarily all feel comfortable changing the direction of what we do, whether it is our product offering. And I can give you an example of this. When I started back in 2005, I was a communication strategist. Diane was a communication strategist. Well, actually, Winston Strategic Partners. Diane started 2 years before as a communications strategist. And then when I launched my LLC, it became a communications firm, strategic communications firm. That allowed me to take on clients from every walk. I could do nonprofits, individuals, corporations, small businesses. I was writing resumes, doing professional bios, doing press releases, marketing, doing change management communications. I was doing everything for everyone. But over time, what I realized is that there were certain types of clients that I was working just as hard for, just as long for, but the return was not sufficient. And so by working for that group of clients, it meant that I didn't have the space and time to work for the clients that could actually pay me the dollars that my time was worth. I had to course correct. And now what I do as a community give back is I do for nonprofits and individuals as a give back, an occasional give back, but I don't do that in my target client offering. Okay. Reposition. Remember that you can always change. Change is good. Change can be great. But if it is about what you're offering your client and you're in the middle of a project, you've got to involve the client in the fact that you're going to change. I cannot stipulate. I can't, you see, I put it there 3 times. If I could have put it there 300 times. It is so important that we communicate with our clients. They appreciate it. If you're stuck in a project, stop and get clarity before you proceed. If there's information that you actually didn't think to ask, stop and go ask it. It can be an email, just for clarity's sake. Your client will appreciate your thoughtfulness as you are pursuing a project or a product offering for them. The feedback loop is important. It's important for you to get the client's feedback, but guess what? It's also important for you to get the feedback from the client in terms of how am I doing? How are we doing? Is our product delivering what we said it would deliver? Is there anything else that you need? And then maybe if you get an excellent rating from your client, you can ask them to please make referrals for you and recommendations for you. Use that. But the only way that you can do that is if you have a good open communication with that client. They are human beings too, and they are trying to meet deliverables that they have. And if we can partner with our clients and deliver an excellent product, excellent service, then they are going to remember us in the future. Okay, so just a few final thoughts, and I think I'm way early, which is kind of good, because I want to hear all the questions. I want to make time for your questions. Never, ever, ever overpromise. When I worked in corporate, I spent 20 years working at Citibank, and I was a product manager for a lot of those years. And a product manager actually owns a product. Mine was electronic banking, but I didn't sell it. The sales folks sold it, and they would promise stuff that the technology didn't offer. So there we are, product management, stuck with having to put a bell and a whistle on something that is so specific, it only is going to be relevant for that one client. That's not how we work. Only offer what you know you can offer. Don't overpromise because the client wants it. What you can do, and this is what I do, I have clients that want executive coaching. I'm not a certified executive coach, but I have relationships with other firms, collaborative relationships with other firms that I can subcontract to them. They come in, they offer their executive coaching services to my clients under the umbrella of Winston Strategic Partners. I do not overpromise. I am not a Jane of all trades, and neither should you try to be. Now, if you're in innovations, if it's technology innovation or product innovation, don't overpromise, but say, let me look into that. Okay. As I said, the second bullet here, ask all your questions. Ask as many questions as you can, because at the end of the day, when you're no longer in the room with the client and you're now setting about the task of creating the product or delivering the product and service, you want to make sure that you're thinking like the client is thinking. You understand the why they need it, when they need it, who it's for, how they want to position it in their business strategy for the future, how much they want to spend. Yeah, these are all the questions you want to ask. And I know it's difficult to ask a client how much you want to spend, but there is a way to do it. You can just simply ask them, what is your budget for this? Some clients don't want to tell you their budget. Now, when you respond to requests for proposals, RFPs, oftentimes they give you a week, 2 weeks to submit questions. Inevitably, someone is going to ask, what is your budget? And in those instances, I find they say, not determined, or we'll share it with the successful bidder. When you are in the room or on the phone or on Zoom or Teams with a potential client, and you want to walk away and you want to develop a meaningful proposal, something that they would consider it seriously, ask the question what your budget is. One of my colleagues shared with me how she does this when they are reluctant to share their budget. She says, what I don't want to do is come back to you with a Tesla or a Bentley when all you really want is a Volkswagen or a Buick. And not to say those are bad cars, they just don't have the same status, level of widgets. So you want to set expectations by asking those questions, and then confirm the expectations in your proposal. Or if I'm writing your proposal, send an email and ask. Price for value. Your service and your product have value. Don't make the mistake I made early on. I priced it, the client signed the proposal agreement, and then they introduced me to the enterprise. The first client this first person within this company that went to utilize my services. And back then I was charging by the hour. And it came up to $6,000. I did 2 overnights or 2 all-nighters to deliver this product. I was writing proposals for a large marketing firm, but their proposals, the RFPs that were coming in, were anywhere from 100 to 200 pages. And I had to interview each of the departments that would be contributing the services to respond to those RFPs in order to understand what they were offering, and then to go back and write the proposal. So the number of hours from, say, Friday to Tuesday, I did 2 all-nighters over the course of a weekend. And I came up with a realistic, because it was actual hours, of $6,000. And that client, because I was new maybe, she said, this is a little high, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna make a good decision here, Diane. I'm talking to myself because they've got more for me to do. So I said, what would work for you? And she said, drop 2,000 off. I've done the work. My pricing, my fee, my hourly fee had already been signed off within the company by the person that needed to sign off, but yet and still, I gave a 33 1/3% discount. Don't do that. Don't undersell yourself, but at the same time, don't overprice, okay? And then deliver more than good. Always deliver your absolute best. And I want to just spend a moment and say, delivering your absolute best is not just to your big client, not just to your government client, but delivering your absolute best is also to each other. As entrepreneurs, we can collaborate and work together to make more money. I'm a solopreneur. I've been in business almost 17 years now. I have a host of collaborative partners where they call me to offer my services. I call them to fulfill my client needs with their services. I don't call someone that's in the auto repair, because that's outside of what I do. But I call folks that offer either communication services, digital design, website design. I do the content, they do design. People who can facilitate my courses or my clients' courses, or who offer their own. And that means that I can offer many more training sessions than just what Winston Strategic Partners alone has developed. And then with diversity, equity, and inclusion, I have folks who this is all they do. I do the courageous conversations, but they go in and they do the stuff they've been trained to do. They stay on top of the research. So we partner together. So I'm saying to you, deliver your absolute best, whether it is for a client or whether it is for a colleague. And with that, Kathy, I'm going to yield back to you.
Okay, and here I am.
For questions. Do you have any?
Thank you, Diane. There's 1 or 2 here, but can I?
Sure.
I want to jump in here because you gave me a lot of food for thought, because, I think a really important point that you made was to establish upfront your fee. But I also want to think, I get retainers. I figure if my attorneys can take retainers, I ask for a retainer, and people will pay it.
And that's good because you're in a service business, right?
Well, I am, and I have a couple of businesses. On my service business, I take a retainer as an attorney will.
Mhm.
But I can give them an estimate. It's going to take me 10 hours or 20 hours, which they appreciate.
Mhm.
But
One of the things, and let me just spend a moment on this, because in terms of pricing scenarios, I think it depends on if it's a service or a product. Okay. And with the
right.
product, it can also be about quantity, you know. But when I was researching as a newly launched firm, what does a consulting firm charge? How do we charge? I took the time to research by talking to other consulting firms, little one person shops like my own, people that have been in it for a year or two, maybe 5 years. And what I came away with is that I could do hourly, I could do by project, I could do a retainer, right? And having that flexibility when clients say, well, what is your pricing? Because I never like to tell them this is my hourly price. But what I tell them now, and one, I'm way past at this point in my business hourly. But what I do tell my clients is it depends on the duration of the project and the complexity of the project. If it's a one-time hit and it's only going to take a little bit of time, it's not real complex, I can quote them a figure, a ballpark figure based on, like you said, Kathy, an estimate of how long it's going to take me. Now I'm going to go away and I'm going to make my calculations, and I know how much I think my time is worth on an hourly basis, and I understand how many hours it's going to take to do that work. And then I put a few more hours on it because it always, there's scope creep. Then I can go back to the client and give them that. Another thing is to offer clients a la carte pricing. So, and I'll go back to the marketing brochure where they say they want a 4-color marketing brochure. You can go and offer them a 2-color, this is the pricing, 4-color, this is the pricing, 6-color. It can be 2 pages, it can be 1 page that's folded over, it can be a 4-page, a 6-page, and you show your clients what their options are. And this way they can decide what is within their budget. And then you go and you deliver it.
There you go. Okay, thank you, Diane. Let's go to the people who are asking questions. Hang on a second, I gotta get my chat up here. I think I know who's first. Yes, she is. Chanel is asking, does your company offer any services that will be helpful for authors needing someone to handle marketing, PR, selling in bulk to schools and organizations?
Does my firm help companies?
Authors who need somebody to do the PR and marketing to the organizations who purchase.
Yeah, no, I'm not I don't do advertising. I'm not public relations. We do mostly things that impact internal communications. If you need someone like that, I'm just trying to think who I know. You need a PR firm, right? You need advertising. Come off mute for a moment just to dialogue with me.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was like, how do I get on mute? Get off mute. So I'm the author of 2 books, and they're related to around Black culture. It's called All Black Everything Poems and All Black Everything, a Discussion and Action Guide. And it's just around Black history, Black culture, celebrating our hair, our names, gentrification, all different topics. And I'd like to see them in schools, on equity teams. It's good for adults as well as older children, let's say high schoolers.
Mhm.
I'm looking for somebody who can, and I have my foot in the door with schools since I am an educator, but someone who can do that work as far as getting into more schools where it's being sold in bulk, and also different organizations that would be interested in books like that.
Have you, Chanel, have you thought about doing a post on LinkedIn and Facebook?
A post looking for somebody?
No, a post advertising your book.
I've done it on Instagram, and I also created a book trailer for it, but I haven't done it on LinkedIn. I need to, get more familiar with LinkedIn. Yeah.
We have her email address, right, Kathy?
We do.
Okay, Chanel, let me think about someone for you because I know people, but I just am trying to think of the right people.
Cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, and I've had like success with it being in libraries. Like it's going to be in the Schomburg, and it's in different like libraries,
That's
several
great.
libraries. I know, right? Thank you. I was really excited about
Congratulations.
that. And so, yeah, I just need some. I'm like, I'm just learning as I go, so I just need
Sure.
some direction. Yeah.
Okay, I'll follow
Thank
up
you.
with you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
You
it.
know what?
Thank you.
I was just going to suggest that, by the way. The librarians in this area are so sophisticated, and they can really, really help you. I would go and talk to somebody who's in charge of the library in your town. Their networks are absolutely
Yeah, and do a
incredible.
book signing. Do a book
Do
signing.
book
They'll
signing.
do a book signing in the local library, and that they'll publicize that, and then try to get into the schools. But let's honor
Okay.
some of the other questions.
Okay,
Chanel, I'll be in
so-
touch. Thank you.
Okay, Tim is asking, how important are appearances for being seen as technologically proficient or having a superior looking website?
And very important. And the thing is, you don't need to have a comprehensive website, not to start with. I always say, if you're just launching, have a homepage, but have it be, if you've got a, I had a logo when I started because my cousin was a graphic designer and that was a gift he gave me. It's not the logo that I use today, but have a logo, have what your firm does, and have contact information, email, LinkedIn, information there, and then you can just simply say more to come. But it is important that you look professional, and please don't use Gmail or Opt Online email addresses when you launch your business. Try to find a domain name, and I use GoDaddy. I'm promoting GoDaddy only because it works for me for 17 years. They're wonderful. But I would suggest that you not use a Gmail account or a Hotmail like I started. Someone pulled my coat to that real early. Okay.
Okay. So Randy is asking, I manufacture boats and have a concern regarding subcontractors. And if they miss their production schedule and if they miss their production schedule, what would you suggest to do to keep the subcontractor on production schedule? What business tools are available? Now, this is for a manufacturer.
Yeah, that's really tough. I'm not in this world, so I don't know. I mean, if we think about what's going on with baby formula right now, you're not in the plant. Now, one of the things you could do maybe is to, before you contract with a manufacturer, a subcontractor manufacturer, visit the plant, find out what their schedule is, find out their downtime. There are things that you might be able to assess ahead of time about the quality of their work, consistency of their work, and maybe even talk to other clients. That's the best I got, Randy. I'm sorry.
What about contracts, Diane? Every time you enter into a business agreement for production, would you advise securing a contract? Would that help?
Oh, always. I have a subcontractor agreement with every subcontractor that I'm going to do business with. As a matter of fact, they don't get to know the client that I'm pursuing until we have something in writing.
Okay. Yeah, I like contracts too. There was another question here. Randy, I hope that helped you. Okay, if you're delivering a talk, would it still be best to first ask them about their budget?
Yes, absolutely. And in addition to asking about their budget, because if someone wanted to pay you $50 for a 45-minute talk, is that sufficient for you? Price for value.
Right.
That may not be right. But the other thing that you want to do and prep for that talk is find out who will be in the audience. How long do they want you to speak? And if there are any particular points they want you to cover. By you asking that question, and then if they offer you $50, you say, I'm sorry, but that's way below what I am accustomed to, because after all, I've got to design the content, design the presentation based on content that you and I've discussed. And then there's the delivery, their time.
And Diane, do you charge for mileage or getting to it? If it's nothing local, do you just incorporate that into the?
Yeah, no,
But you consider it in your fee?
No,
correct?
that's delivering a talk or presentation is a professional fee. And so travel is separate. If I have to travel out of town, I just indicate in my proposal that travel expenses are separate, as are production costs. If I'm being asked to provide copies of my presentation to participants, shipping and costs, shipping and handling, shipping and mailing is also separate, because I might have to ship that stuff to my client's office.
Okay, but you would lay it out into the
In the proposal.
into the proposal that your fee is,
No, I wouldn't say
$100, your travel is going to be $100.
No, I wouldn't say what my travel is. I
Okay.
never stipulate what travel and production costs are going to be. I just say that they will be, it is a separate fee.
Okay,
And
great.
then to let them know that they'll get original receipts.
Got it. Thank you. What do you think minimum should be for an hour presentation? I know it varies. Good luck. That's a tough question, Chanel.
It really is.
Tough question.
It really is. And I really don't know. And I cannot answer that question because I'm answering it based on what I would charge. And I've been out here for quite a while. I'm also, well, I can't say, but you don't want $50.
No.
And it depends on come off mute. Who asked that?
That was Chanel again.
Chanel. Who's your audience?
I was just asking in general. So
Yeah.
let's say the audience is schools or the audience is libraries.
If you are selling your book, you want to start off doing that at no cost.
Right.
This is a marketing an opportunity for you.
Right.
If once your book catches fire and there are, let's say, organizations for people of color that want you to speak on a topic that you have in your book, that's a paying. But when you're trying to launch, I would say just go out and do it for free.
That is exactly the advice my father gave me when I first entered the workforce. He said, offer to work for free. And when you do that, people say, okay, and they give you a chance, and so many years later, still working.
And
So
Chanel, you're able to say at that free offering, promoting your book, that you are available you can be booked. You are available for organizations that want to go deep in the topic, in a particular topic.
Okay, Randy's back again. He's our boat manufacturer. With a new product, I need to launch a marketing plan. How would you approach making the biggest impact? Does TikTok or YouTube or print media really help launch a new product? What has been your experience?
It really depends on where your client is. What does your client look at? And TikTok is a real hot number right now. I'm not a TikTok person. I do have a TikTok account, but you'll never see Winston Strategic Partners because I'm old. I don't know how to keep up with it. And I don't know that my clients are looking on TikTok for what I sell. So it really, Randy, depends on where do your clients look for business or for products. And you're kind of going to know that if you are a member. Here's a tip. If you're a member of an organization of boating people who sell boats, the New York Boat Show or whatever the boat show is we have here in Norwalk, Connecticut, if you go to one of those or you're a member in one of those, ask them. That is one of the reasons that we as entrepreneurs should be members of trade organizations or organizations that represent the function that we are in. because then you can find out about the best places to sell and the places that your clients are looking to buy.
Okay. I don't think I see any great advice. Thank you very much from Randy to Diane. Okay, here we go. Cynthia is curious, why should we not use a Gmail address for business?
Because it does not say that you're in business. It says that this is your personal Gmail account. My email is at Winston Strategic Partners. That's the name of my firm. And if you are indeed, if you have established your company, your firm, your business as a business entity, a legitimate business entity in the state of Connecticut, New York, Delaware, wherever, when you go to market your business, or you're selling and you give a business card or a capability statement, if it says Gmail, people are not going to take you serious. And know that going into getting a domain name on what did I say the name is? What is it? Hot Daddy? What is GoDaddy?
Say GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.
Yeah, I told you I'm old. GoDaddy.com.
Right.
It's not a lot of money. You get on the phone with them, tell them which name you'd like. They can tell you if it's already taken. Everything I wanted, WSP, was taken. So I went with Winston, SP, taken. So I went with Winston Strategic Partners, not taken. But people, one, remember your company because they see your domain name in your email, but they will not take you serious as a business owner if you're operating from Gmail.
Yep, so
And
true.
now cybersecurity is also a concern. When you're sending things back and forth to your clients, if it's going on a platform such as Gmail, they don't know who's seeing your Gmail. Okay.
That's true. Okay, any advice on who to go for logos?
For what?
Logos. A logo for your business.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I do. I do. There's a couple of firms that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Peralta Design. Ramon Peralta is a SCORE. I think he's a SCORE mentor. I'm not sure, but I know he did one of these sessions. He is a great firm. There's 628 Digital Design. There is Baseline Group out of New York. These are all small businesses.
And Ramon Peralta is in Connecticut. He's in Shelton.
And 628 Design, Digital Design, is also in Connecticut, and I believe they're in New Haven.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. That will be changed. Wait a minute. I think I missed something. Okay, I was connected to a potential Black-owned investment firm who showed interest in my business idea. They were supposed to get back to me about scheduling a meeting, and I've not heard from them. No more emails. Should I call or take the hint that they don't want to do business? Maybe they are busy. I don't want to be a pest. What do I do?
No, you be a pest. Listen. You be a pest. You're the one that wants them to do something with you, right? You get them to say, no, thank you. That's going to be an ouch, but you want to get that closure there. And you want to also make sure, and I hope that whatever that they want to invest, right? Didn't you say it's an investment firm, Kathy?
Hang on a second. Yeah, it is an investment firm.
Okay. Did you get an NDA and a non-disclosure agreement, something to protect your whatever it is that they want to invest in? I would always do that, everybody, particularly when you are talking to someone that has an interest in investing, not that they're going to run away with your idea, but you want to show up like a business owner. So you get an NDA signed, and then you have the conversation. Now, when I started my business, I was I had no patience for folks that wouldn't call me back. I wanted the business, by the way. I wanted their business. And my colleague said to me, stop it with your ego. You call, you email, it doesn't matter how often that you do. I mean, you won't do it every day, but just say, just let me know if we're still on. And I've got clients, they came to me in December for work they wanted me to do in February. Guess what? I went to them in February, before February, I went to them again in April. And I heard back from them last night, they're ready to go.
There you go. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, Diane. You know, I think that the NDA is really important. And always do an NDA when you're doing something, you know, priority investment wise. It's the only way. You can get some forms on the internet too to show you the way, and it's pretty simple. Okay, I think that's it from everybody. Diane, once again, I'm going to say thank you. You're a rock star. You brought us down the home stretch. We're Women and Minorities webinar series has been absolutely great, and I can't thank you enough for everything you did.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Okay, so here we go. Our business case submissions are due by June 29th. Send them to tim.ryan@scorevolunteer.org. After we secure all of your paperwork, there will be a Zoom meeting with the judges, and that'll be the following week, and the winners will be notified by email. And we'll be giving you up to $2,000 grants will be awarded. I just want to jump in here. As part of the package that goes out to you is that executive summary. That executive summary is so important because it's something that, you know, when you're pitching to a bank or anyone else, they want to know as quickly as possible your background and what you want and what your qualifications are and what you want to do. Just nail it on that executive summary. I did this business case analysis the other day with a friend of mine, and we did the executive summary. We just went through it. And, you know, the more we talk, the more I realize, oh my God, this guy he's fabulous because he had the background. It was a new venture, but you have to lead with your strong suit first. So take the time to do the executive summary, and the relevant points will be in that business case analysis. And there will be some things in that analysis that maybe don't pertain to you. So don't be afraid to say, listen, it's okay to skip it, but know why you skip it, okay? Our SCORE mentors are available to help you with your submissions. Request a mentor at our website. The forms are being submitted are questionnaire-based, fillable PDF and an Excel spreadsheet. You'll have some financial projections, but take the time to do the business case analysis and your executive summary. If you intend to submit for the grant, please tell us today so that we can plan the interviews. Just send your yes, I will be submitting to the following email, tim.ryan@scorevolunteer.org. So I think we're just going to wrap it up, and I'm just going to say thank you to all of you for participating. Diane, thank you. Thank you to Connecticut, to Fairfield County Community Foundation. It's been a great webinar, and see you all soon.
I wish you all great success. Go get it.